This is a 7-minute recap of the Ireland trip 2016. It started on the Sunday morning after graduation. We all gathered at Roberts campus with parents and friends and gathered around, prayed for each other, and then it was time to hit the road. So we boarded up a bus, headed across the border into Toronto, Canada. So after waiting in the airport, getting tickets, checking baggage and everything, we were on the plane ready to go. So flew for hours and hours, and before you knew it, we were on the ground in Dublin. So the thing about Dublin, it's 5 hours ahead of Rochester, New York. So even though it was 3:30 in the morning Rochester time, it was time to go, Dublin time. So we started right away, explored the streets, walked around, looked at all the architecture, beautiful churches and everything, just to get a really good feel for some of the history and beauty of the city of Dublin. After we explored for a while, it was time to go to the after-school club, our first interaction with the kids. So we played games with them, we did a small church service type activity with them, and really just got to know them. So in this club, we help them with their homework, we just have fun with them, and then we also get to teach them the gospel through some skits and through other activities, singing, motions, all of that. The next day, we boarded up the bus and headed to the outskirts of Dublin for a little bit more of a physical labor type project. We met a man named Brenner, and Brenner had a rough life. His wife had died last year on Christmas, and he has 3 kids and really needed help with just cleaning up his backyard. Because trash removal is expensive, and there's really nowhere for the trash to go other than the backyard. So we cleared all the trash out. We raked up and cleaned up the entire backyard, built gardens, built a walkway for his dog, and built a walkway just to add some beauty to that backyard. So really came up with a spot that he's going to be able to just take a load off and enjoy with his family instead of seeing trash out there. The next day, it was time for us to get out of Dublin and actually drive into the countryside a little bit. So we got to drive through streets that look wrong because you're on the wrong side of the street. Fortunately, we have Irish drivers that keep us alive. But pretty soon we were at Drewstown House. Drewstown House is an old 1700s manor, think Downton Abbey, and this is where these kids get to go for a weekend. They don't have a lot of fun and good memories happening at home because they just live in a rough area, and this is a real chance for them to get away. So started with some physical labor. We had to clear out some wooded areas where they were just trying to make this more enjoyable for the kids. So a chance to get our hands dirty and make a difference that way. We also had a chance to go out into the woods where they have some ropes courses, and this place is just amazing. There's so much for these kids to do, but in the wooded area there is a moss problem, and these vines climb up the trees, get too heavy, and they actually end up falling down because there's so much weight on them. So it takes a little bit of maintenance. So we had all hands on deck to go through, rip down all of this ivy to make sure that it doesn't gather up on these trees, and we can keep it beautiful for all the activities that they have going, like the ropes course. It was a ton of fun to get to decorate for them, and in preparation for them to show up, we bought a ton of inflatables, too many inflatables, and lo and behold, they became weapons. But it was a blast to give them kind of a Hawaiian theme, Caribbean theme, for them to enjoy while they were there. I mean, there were so many inflatable balls, and it didn't work out quite how we hoped it would. But we were just thrilled to get them actually there. They are amazing, amazing kids. Once you melt that exterior of hardened Dublin kid, they are just so ready to be loved because they're not getting it at home. So just playing games with them, spending time with them and talking with them, that is so, so important to them. And by the end of this retreat with them, they are your best friend. They want to tell you everything. And just, there is so many fun things to do at this place. We got to worship with these kids too, because that's why we go, is to share the love of Christ. So we got to do church services with them. We sat around campfire, sang songs, and they are balls of energy. So if you can do motions while you sing and everything, then they're just gonna love it. And so we had some of our students able to give testimonies, but then it was time to come home. So we came back to Dublin, where we got dropped off at our hostel, and it was time to say bye to the kids. But the next day was our tourist day, so we boarded up a tour bus and we headed across country down to the south of Ireland, where we really got to see some of that beautiful green that you hear about, and the Emerald Isle did not disappoint, but we got to see amazing castles. We went to old ruins of abbeys and castles. We got to go to Blarney Castle and kiss the Blarney Stone. There's another castle where they filmed Braveheart. That was another place we got to go. But it is just so beautiful. So not only to get to enjoy the country and the culture, but those kids and other people that that we interacted with. It's just an unbelievable experience to be able to pour God into their lives and to be a light where there isn't always. So wonderful trip. The memories that were made are going to stick with us forever, and we're looking forward to the trip in 2017.